For Ultimate Team Coins, check out GameGoldTrader.com. Their link is in the description below. A very fast and reliable service. And if you use the discount code NEPO at checkout, you get a discount on your coins. They also offer PSN, MSP, and other game gold as well. What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to my FIFA 15 E3 breakdown. Now what I'm going to do guys, for those of you that might have missed the E3 presentation, I'm going to play the presentation in full just after this little intro. If you did see the intro and just want to hear what I've got to say about the video presentation, skip to around the 3-minute mark, which is where the video will start from with me. Otherwise, enjoy the presentation, it was fantastic, and let's get right into breaking down this E3 presentation.
With FIFA 15, we've created a game that lets you feel the emotion of football like never before. You will feel the game. Emotion touches everything we're showing you today. Incredible visuals that blur the line between the virtual and the real world, and emotional intelligence that connects every player on the pitch. Players now have memories. They will show their emotion based on the context of the match, from the ecstasy of triumph to the agony of defeat. It's a level of creative expression that as a game developer we've only ever dreamed of, but now it's alive in FIFA 15. Our player control system brings an all-new level of player personality and responsiveness to the game. New stutters and strides let you cut, sprint and explode out of turns. And our new ball physics system models movement depending on precise contacts with the ball. It's creating astonishingly realistic trajectories and spin. You'll feel the physicality of the sport in man-to-man battles, full-body defending, shirt pulling, shoulder barges and possession tackles fundamentally change the way you compete for the ball. And we have created the next generation football player, athletic, lean and stunningly realistic. You'll not only feel their athleticism, you'll see it too. FIFA 15 will have atmosphere that you can feel. The Poznan at Etihad Stadium, the frenetic energy at La Bombonera, the Kop at Anfield. Feel immersed in these iconic theatres of sport. Witness the sights and sounds that make you feel just like you're there. On the pitch, boots will leave their mark. Hard slide tackles will tear the turf and kits will get dirty. Ad boards animate, corner flags will move, and goal frames clatter on impact. The entire stadium is alive and packed with emotion. All of this adds up to a FIFA experience where you'll feel the emotion, intensity and athleticism of football. There's much more news to come before we launch this fall. This year you will feel the game.
So guys, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the emotional intelligence. David Rutter was speaking very proudly about how players have a memory within the game so that their emotions and the visuals of how they act after plays or misses or goals or full-time whistles will be changing dependent on how that match has gone. Now this is a pretty cool feature. It's nothing from a gamer's point of view, from a playing point of view, it's nothing outstanding. It's the sort of thing that makes a game a little bit better due to the fact that, you know, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One have so much capabilities compared to the previous gen consoles that it does kind of bring you into the game a little bit more. However, it begs the question straight away of like, does this emotional intelligence last per game or over the period of time? You know, if you've got a player, let's say on 49 goals and he scores his 50th goal in the game for you, does the team go and celebrate with him for getting a half century of goals in a season, and so on and so forth? You know, there's so much that could be explored with this. There's such little information about it that it's the sort of thing that actually really pumps me up for FIFA, is this sort of thing. Whilst it is a feature that's not necessarily needed, it is a feature that does get me sitting here thinking this could be brilliant. Like this could add, for people that make montages, for, you know, people that do skill goals, or generally people that just want to make a montage of a season of FIFA, this could be defining in you know, putting music alongside people's emotions and these players' emotions, and it would open up an absolute wealth of content to video makers. The only thing I worry about is this the sort of thing that's going to happen where with the throwing thing, it's like, you know, you go and you see the player go and run and pick up the ball, and for the first 5 times you're like, that was fucking awesome, but then it just gets absolutely repetitive and boring and not needed. Like, I do fear that this is the sort of thing where there's going to be limited emotions and you can kind of predict the emotion that will come through depending on how the game goes. If that's the case, that'll be a little bit sad, but this is definitely an incredible attribute to have towards FIFA. and something that I do look forward to getting involved in and playing with once the game is released. Next up in the presentation, guys, was a very small clip about agility and control. Not really too much to say about this. It seems like every year EA talk about how they've got brand new ball physics and you know, new player animations, these new stutter steps that David Rutter was talking about. And that's all great. It's kind of part and parcel these days. That's the sort of thing you get with your typical E3 or FIFA trailers, or you know, kind of early information about the game. You know, brand new ball physics. Is it really brand new, or is it just a rework of the current model? Because if it's brand new, how bad was the current ball physics engine for them to have to completely rework a ball physics engine for a new game? So is it something brand new, or have they just toned it a little bit, where deflections and the way the ball moves within the weather and the way you strike it, you know, maybe they've just done some things with that. But again, it's really difficult for me to be negative about this sort of stuff, because they're trying to make improvements on the game. And whilst I got a lot of negative tweets about that E3 presentation, I was thoroughly impressed with it. I thought things like this, things like the agility and the control, they're the things that matter in the game. The touch of the player, how they, you know, sometimes you take a ball down right now and it pings off your foot. Maybe they've got a brand new animation, so if you're taking it down at that angle now, you're actually able to control the ball. So again, it was only a small portion of the E3 presentation, but it was definitely something that I was impressed with again. We move on, guys, to the man-to-man battles. Now, this is something that I feel could be a massive problem in FIFA. Once again, it's nice to know that EA are looking into what we have as problems as FIFA players, and me speaking mainly from a foot perspective, from FIFA Ultimate Team perspective, of course. Like, strength and pace are the biggest problems in FIFA. Like, you get a player like a Barbo who has crazy pace and decent strength, and he just destroys any defender. And then you get a player like Messi who's got crazy pace but terrible strength, and he gets worked on a lot in games. You know, it's difficult to use him. For those of you that have had the pleasure of using him, a lot liked him, but more disliked him because he's so weak. With this new man-to-man kind of battle arena, I guess, with the way that you're going to be able to start shielding the ball and kind of using strength to protect or advance with the shirt pull and stuff, I can only see bad things with this, especially in Ultimate Team, where everything seems to enhance so much more. We've already got the likes of Benteke's and Lukaku's and strength monsters like Ibrahimovic, who dominate the foot scene in the attacking senses because of their abilities on the ball and their strength to hold off defenders. If you're adding a new feature that specifically targets this area, I think it's only going to enhance the problem. Now, of course, EA would have done hours upon hours upon hours of testing to hopefully get the balance correct. But if we talk about the FIFAs over the years, how there's always been like a game-breaking feature, and like, you know, last year it was the pace was just ridiculous. This year, for the most part, chip-through balls and crosses are very strong. Is next year going to be, again, the strength and the pace within a player that really dictates how people build their teams and what they do when on possession of the ball? Next up, guys, we're going to be looking at the dynamic matchday presentation. I completely skipped over the authentic player visuals because I think that's something that every gaming company in the world strives for on a year-on-year basis, is to improve the visual aspect of the game and to make the game look more realistic. But with the dynamic matchday presentation, that they noted, most importantly, like the Poznan at the City Stadium and the Kop at Liverpool, and it's great. It is great. Like, it's fantastic that they're trying to like immerse you into the game, and when you go and play at a stadium, that stadium should feel alive. But I can't help but think how pointless this kind of stuff is. When I play FIFA, I probably pay 0.01% attention to the stadium and the kind of atmosphere. In fact, most of the time that I play FIFA, the TV is on mute and I have music or a stream or a video in the background to kind of preoccupy me, because I don't care about the stadium or the sounds or the noise or the atmosphere. Now, I'm just one person, and maybe you do care about that. Maybe that's the sort of thing that you love within the game, that you feel like you're part of the game. But for me, it's a very, very pointless feature, and something that I don't think is going to really be that great. The next thing we look at, guys, is the living pitch. Again, this for me is more to do with aesthetics within the game rather than something that's actually important. Now, what will be good to see and really good to play with once the game comes out is this living pitch, basically, guys. So footprints are left in the grass after, you know, I suppose if it's like heavy rain and you run through it, there's footprints left, and if you do a sliding tackle, it's going to knock some mud up. It kind of begs the question of what sort of state is the pitch going to be in come the end of the game. And if you do a slide tackle and it digs some mud up, now in real life football, they'll go and pat that back down. It seems to me like they're kind of indicating that in FIFA that won't be patted down. So are you going to play a ground pass and it's going to hit a bit of mud and bobble off? Like, is that going to be there, or is it just going to go through the mud and it be another kind of pointless thing and literally just there to be a little bit more pleasing on the eye and make the game a little bit more realistic? That was the last thing in the presentation, guys. Overall, I was very, very impressed with what I saw. Now, I know you guys say this all the time, and this does happen every year. When the game first comes out, I love the game because it's a brand new game. It's like, yes, FIFA's out, FIFA's new, I'm loving all these new features. And over time, the more you play it, the more you get used to it, the more the little niggly things come out. It's more like a relationship, you know, like you meet someone and bang, you like, you know, oh, you're crazy about them and la 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 la. And then as you get to know them more, their kind of negative traits come out, and you start, you know, all of a sudden you're putting up with them and you're like, oh, do I really want to be with this person? And that's kind of how FIFA is as well. It's like, once you get the game, you love it and you love everything about it, and then you get to know the game and you start disliking the things that you dislike, and that's what will happen with me again, I'm sure, this year. I'm sure there'll be things I dislike about the game. I'm sure there'll be so many things that I like about the game. Now, before we get out of here, guys, as well, I don't know if I'm going to do a full video on this next little bit because it's just a little bit. Maybe I'll do a full video on it a bit more once something bigger comes out. But there is going to be a loan feature in FIFA Ultimate Team next year. We asked for it. We as my community, you guys that watch me, talked about a loan feature. I talked about the pros and the cons. And one thing that I didn't think about when talking about the pros and the cons was what EA have thought about. And that's what's on screen right now. So I suggested loaning players from like me to my friend, or like, you know, having a loan market on Ultimate Team where I can go and borrow someone's Ronaldo for a couple of 100,000 coins. What EA have done, which is on the screen now, is have where you like unlock the coin boosts and the kits and the balls and the boots and like the celebrations and stuff. They're going to have in there the ability to loan a player for a certain amount of games, which will be incredible for those of you that can just never afford Messi's and Ronaldo's. You're now going to be able to loan them. I don't know how many of the EA Sports credits it's going to take up. I don't know how, you know, for a Messi, if you get the pre-order, you get the ability to get Messi, and I assume for 5 games because that's the number that's there. But for Ronaldo, like, is it going to be 10,000 credits for 10 games with Ronaldo? Will it be 1,000 credits? Will you have to be like level 70 to get him and have to have people gift him to you? Ultimately, who cares? This is an incredible feature, and especially for those of you that can just never afford to play with these powerhouses, but would just want at least a few games with them just to see how they feel. This is going to be massive for FIFA Ultimate Team. So once again, guys, I was thoroughly impressed with the E3 presentation, and I now can't wait for more FIFA 15 news. Like, I genuinely can't wait to see what's next within this game, and especially what brand new features they would have added, not only within Ultimate Team, but also within clubs, because I do like that game mode as well. This video's dragged on a bit now, though, guys, so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, I'm out. Peace.
Football is the greatest drama on earth. This is our stage, our theatre. I was born into it. Others were adopted, but we're all connected. If you don't believe we're family, you haven't felt what we felt. Agony, tension, heartbreak. But that moment, when it comes together just right, words cannot describe. But this isn't fiction. This is real life, our life. The stages are real. We can feel them, experience them. They come to life. These leading men take the ball, take the man, and take their place as legends. Our heroes run through walls to ignite our imagination. An entire season changes with one kick, one bad decision, one slip. But one magic moment lives in our hearts forever. We live for these moments. We are these moments. This is more than a game. This is football. FIFA 15. Feel the game.